I thought dying would be louder. I expected pain, maybe darkness, maybe nothing at all. Instead, I woke up face down on a wooden floor, heat pressed against my skin. The air smelled of smoke, iron, and burning coal. The rhythmic sound of hammering echoed through the room. Clang, clang, clang! I slowly opened my eyes. The ceiling above me was made of rough wooden beams, blackened by years of soot. Before I could sit up, a deep voice boomed above me.
Oi, apprentice, you sleeping or dead?
I looked up. Standing over me was a giant of a man. He was covered in sweat, with arms like tree trunks and a thick black beard. He wore a heavy leather apron stained with soot and metal dust. I stared at him in confusion. "Where am I?" I asked. The man frowned.
In my forge. Where else would a useless brat be?
My heart skipped a beat. Forge? I slowly pushed myself to my feet and looked around. Rows of tools lined the walls. Swords hung from wooden racks. Molten metal glowed orange inside a furnace. This wasn't a workshop, it was a blacksmith's forge. And it looked completely medieval. No electric lights, no machines, no technology, no signs of the modern world at all. For a moment I wondered if I was dreaming. Then something caught my eye. Floating above the giant blacksmith's head was a glowing blue window. The letters slowly formed in front of me. Bran Blacksmith NPC. I froze. The blacksmith continued working as if nothing was there. I rubbed my eyes. The text remained. Branna Blacksmith NPC. NPC, as in non-player character? The kind that only existed inside games? A chill ran down my spine. I looked around frantically. Nobody else seemed to notice the floating text. Only I could see it. My breathing quickened. I needed to know what was happening. Nearby, a polished sword leaned against a workbench. I picked it up and looked into the reflection. The face staring back at me wasn't mine. The dark hair was different. The eyes were different. Even the age looked younger. Then another blue window appeared. Toma Vale, Blacksmith NPC. Role. Background character. I stared at the words. Background character. Not hero, not warrior, not mage. Background character. My stomach dropped. What kind of joke is this? I whispered. Before I could think further, shouting erupted outside. People rushed through the village streets. The hero is coming. The hero is here. The blacksmith stopped working. Even he looked excited. I followed the crowd outside. Villagers lined the road. Children climbed fences. Merchants abandoned their stalls. Everyone was staring toward the village entrance. Then I saw him. A knight rode into town on a white horse. His silver armor shined beneath the sunlight. A blue cape flowed behind him. The crowd erupted into cheers. Another glowing window appeared above his head. Sir Kale, chosen hero, main quest character. The words hit me harder than any punch. Main quest character. The world already had a protagonist, and it wasn't me. People pushed forward to greet him. They called his name, praised him, celebrated him. Meanwhile, I stood in the crowd unnoticed. Nobody looked at me. Nobody cared. I wasn't the hero. I wasn't even a side character. I was scenery. That night I lay awake in the tiny room above the forge. Moonlight slipped through the wooden window. I stared at the ceiling, trying to make sense of everything. Had I died? Had I been reincarnated? Was this some kind of game world? Questions filled my head, but no answers came. Then midnight arrived. A bell rang somewhere in the distance. The room suddenly filled with blue light. I sat upright. A glowing screen floated before me. Error. Background character has gained self-awareness. Compensation granted. My eyes widened. What? The screen vanished. A second window appeared. One-line patch system. Once per day. Edit one minor rule of reality. I blinked, then blinked again. The message remained. A grin slowly spread across my face. Finally, a cheat skill. Maybe I wasn't completely doomed after all. Another message appeared. Write first patch. I immediately tried the obvious choice. Give me legendary sword mastery. Rejected. I frowned. Fine, and give me infinite gold. Rejected. I clenched my teeth. Make me the hero. Rejected. The system didn't even hesitate. Every request disappeared instantly. My excitement faded. What kind of useless system is this? I looked around the room. Then my eyes landed on a broken hammer resting beside the forge. I stared at it, thinking. The system never said I could become powerful. It only said I could edit a rule, a minor rule. Slowly an idea formed. I took a deep breath. Iron tools break 1% less often. The room became silent. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a green notification appeared. Patch accepted. The broken hammer glowed faintly. Then the light vanished. That was it. No explosion, no dramatic music, no massive increase in strength. Just a tiny change. I stared at the screen. That's it? The system disappeared. Outside, the village slept peacefully beneath the stars. Far above, the night sky shimmered. And for the briefest moment, the stars seemed to shift. The next morning, miles away from the village, a farmer was working his field. His plow struck a hidden rock. Normally, it would have cracked. Normally, it would have broken. But today, it survived. Just barely. The farmer continued working. Because the plow survived, he finished his work earlier than expected. Because he finished early, he looked toward the distant forest. Because he looked toward the forest, he noticed a column of smoke rising above the trees. Because he noticed the smoke, he warned the nearby village. And because the village received that warning, they prepared for the goblin raid before it arrived. One small change, 1%. That was all it took. Back at the forge, I knew none of this. I simply woke up and checked the system. A new message appeared. Next patch available in 23 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds. I stared at the countdown. Then I smiled. Maybe this power wasn't useless after all. I picked up my hammer. The morning sun poured through the forge windows, and for the first time since arriving in this strange world, I felt excited. Okay, I said, let's break the game slowly. And so the story of the Nameless Blacksmith began.